Hey, everybody, I'm Dale Corpus, and welcome back to another Danville San Ramon Rotary Member Spotlight, where we take a few minutes to get to know the people who make this club what it is beyond just showing up on Tuesdays. Today, I'm here with Jack Graham. Jack, thank you for doing this with me. We'll keep this quick, easy, and I'll try not to put you on the spot too much. So let's jump in. First question, Jack. What first brought you to Rotary?
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting question because I've been a member now for 37 odd years, being a charter member. But when Shelley and I first got married, we've been married 54 years, but when we first got married, lived in Livermore, I got really involved in the Livermore JCs through a friend of mine. And we did a lot of great things at the time. But then we moved to San Ramon. I started my own insurance agency, and so they didn't have JCs anymore. And so I was basically very busy, building my agency. But I always, it kind of planted the seeds there. Somewhere along the line, I knew I wanted to get involved in a community service organization. And on about 8 or 9 years later, a friend of mine, associate of mine, had mentioned to me that they were starting this brand new Rotary Club in Danville, and they were looking for people to join and become charter members. And so I thought, well, that would be pretty exciting to do. And so I was invited to a Rotary meeting, and this was with the Danville Sycamore Valley Rotary Club. And we chartered in April 1989, and it's been a great ride. I've been a member of Rotary ever since. So that's my story.
That's a long time.
Mhm.
That's a long time. So that's how it happens. One introduction and suddenly you're part of something bigger. All right. Next question. What keeps you coming back?
Well, I know it can be really redundant, but when you're involved with Rotary, it really boils down to the people that you meet and the connections that you make and the friendships that you make. And it really is quite impactful, and it just helps you kind of broaden your perspective. It's just really a wonderful thing. You can be casual friends or you can be friends for life. It happens,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of Rotary. Look at you, Dale.
Yeah.
I met you for the first time through Rotary. I don't think I ever would have had the opportunity to meet, and here we are.
That's true. Yeah, here we are. So yeah, that comes up a lot. The people, right? The people are really the glue. And it's kind of amazing how quickly it stops feeling like just a group and starts feeling like a community. So all right, now this is where we usually get a good story or whatnot. I wanted to ask you, what's one of the most memorable experiences as a Rotary member?
Well, it's interesting. That's a good question. I actually have two of them that really come to mind. I was fortunate. I was president of our Rotary Club in 1993, 1994. Man, I can't believe it's been that long.
Oh, wow.
But at the time, I was fortunate my wife and I, to attend our first international convention, and it was in Melbourne, Australia. And let me tell you, I was just completely blown away when we got there. I mean, the entire city, Melbourne's over millions of people. There were signs all over the place welcoming Rotary to Melbourne, and there were like 25,000 Rotarians from, all over the world to attend the convention. And it just kind of broadened my perspective of what the worldwide impact Rotary has on the people, and what Rotary truly is all about. It all starts at the club level, and it's kind of like the steam engine for all the good things that we do. But when you step outside the box and you look at what's going on worldwide, it's pretty amazing. Just a great professional organization, and I'm quite proud to be a Rotarian.
I love that. I love that. That's a great one. And those are, the moments that stay with you.
And I do have one more I forgot. So the other really memorable moment, it just happened recently, 3 months ago. My wife and I, we go to Kauai every year for an extended vacation, and we were going for a several weeks. And I told my wife, I said, when we get back, I'd really like to invite our daughter, Katie Lance, to a Rotary meeting because this is something that I think she might be really interested in pursuing. And she was at a period in her life where, her business was in autopilot and the kids were growing, and she was looking for an organization where she could reach outside the box, meet other people, because she works from the house. And so when we got back from our vacation, I literally just called her and said, "Hey, there's a Rotary meeting coming up, and would you be interested? I'd like you to come as my guest." "Sure, Dan, I'd be happy to," she says. Okay, so one thing led to another. We go to the meeting, and in the meeting, I introduced her as, well, this is my daughter, my guest, Katie Lance. She's quite interested in pursuing Rotary, and pretty much that's all I said. And before I know it, the next thing I come to find out from our club president, Julie, was that while we were on vacation in Kauai, Katie had already reached out to her and wanted to attend one or two meetings to find out what Rotary was all about. And if she liked it, she wanted to surprise me when I got back. I had no idea. I literally had no clue. So after I introduced her as a guest at our meeting, Julie, our president, says, "Well, Jack, not only is she a guest, but Jack, she is also a member of this club, and here's her badge." And I look at her and I go, "What in the hell did you just do?" And so anyway, for me, it was quite emotional and a very proud moment. I can't ever remember in all my years of Rotary having a father-daughter involved in the same Rotary club, but now she's a very active member of the club and loves Rotary, and I'm just very proud that I could share that with her. So that was, for me as a dad, that was pretty cool.
Thank you for sharing that story. Like, it just brings everything like full circle, right? I met her on that time she was visiting without you knowing, and she came in a little late because she couldn't find the room, and I was getting a refill on my drink in the hall, and she was late, and she asked if I think she felt embarrassed, but she asked, "Is it okay for me to go in because I'm late?" And I said, "Yeah, and it's not a problem." And so I welcomed her in, and she sat next to me, and I didn't know who you were at the time, but now I know who you are. So now it comes even full circle for me. So anyhow, all right, Jack, before we wrap up, I've got one wild card question for you. And it's this: how has Rotary impacted your life outside of volunteering?
It's just really made me a better person. I learned a long time ago that, without being too philosophical, but as you go through life, the secret to living is giving. And when you give, you just get so much back in return. And it's not about you. It's about other people. It's about the people that you affect in your life. And so it's made me a much better person, and it gives me a greater perspective. And I'm very proud of the fact that through Rotary will allow me just to do one small part to make this a better world which we live in. And whether or not it's fundraising or community service, handing out dictionaries to third graders, to digging wells, to whatever it is, you're making a small difference, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a great feeling. So that's kind of how it's really impacted my life, and I'm proud to be a member. It's become a real top priority for me, and I will continue to be a Rotarian for the rest of my life.
Nice. Great answer. That says a lot about your experience. Jack, I appreciate you sharing everything that you just did and being such an active member in the club. This is what Rotary looks like: people coming together, building relationship, and finding ways to make a real difference. If you're watching this and you're curious about Rotary, we'd love to have you join us. We meet every Tuesday at noon at Roundhouse Conference Center in Bishop Branch in San Ramon. You can come meet Jack, you can meet me, and meet the rest of the club in person, and experience a Tuesday that's actually worth putting on your calendar. You could also learn more at www.danvillesanramonrotary.org. Jack, thank you for being part of our member spotlight.
Thank you.